Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women Are Worthy Network. My name is Jacqlyn Charles, the hostess with the mostest, and we have the one and only phenomenal Lisa Hurley, my co-host. Now we changed. I think no, I'm the co-host today, and she's the host.
Oh, no. You're definitely leading this one. But thank you. I accept the honor, nevertheless.
And I mentioned last week I got to bring it up again. Y'all. She won an award. You hear me? She won an award. When I tell you I love bragging about her, we're really sisters. When I say I love this chick, I love this chick through thick and thin. I think we're Ethel and Lucy. And I think Ethel was the one with the common sense, and Lucy was the one with the shenanigans. We're not talking about body type. We're talking about friendship and brain-wise, right? Mm-hmm. Because Ethel was a smart one. Not that I'm not smart, but I'm the one with the shenanigans. So this is the new version of Lucy and Ethel.
I think it switches. I think it alternates, right?
Nice save. Nice save. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. Please like, click, share, and comment. Like, click, share, just hit the notification bell so you can know when we're having our show. And if you haven't, please watch our show that we did a couple of weeks ago. It was monogamy versus polygamy. We had a wonderful guest on, Miss Khadijah. She was talking about, she is part of a polygamous relationship. So we had a guest on talking about being in that. So it wasn't just Lisa and I talking, we had a guest. So again, go back, like, click, share, follow. So, thank you for joining us. So we're going to talk about, because I've been getting some emails about this and I never knew when was the right time to talk about this, because this topic is very special to me. And I'll talk to you later about why it's special to me. So when it comes to the booty, the derrière department, curvy, shapely, gravity-defying, it's what people, they're prepared. Yeah, I saw that. Preparing, right? So people go under the knife to get it because some people are not happy with what they have. So they go under the knife to get it. So it's the BBL. For those of you who don't know, the BBL is the Brazilian butt lift, right? This procedure gives women the Coca-Cola, most women who are getting it, it's like it's on steroids. So we know the Kardashians, y'all know who that is. The Kardashians, they've been doing this for years, but the Kardashians, the minute they started doing it, every woman that you could think of has rushed to a plastic surgeon, has been showing them their bodies, and this is what they want to look like. So basically, to get it surgically enhanced. So we wanted to do a conversation today regarding natural versus BBL. So let's get down to it. Let's get to the bottom of it. And as my co-host would say, no pun intended. Pun intended. So let's get crack-a-lacking. What are your thoughts?
So I have so many thoughts. I don't even know where to start. First of all, I hope I can say it and I'm about to say it, but I feel like if in many ways the whole aesthetic is based on a certain race of people in general, right? There's a certain body type that many Black women, not all, right? But many Black women have. Many of us are known, I'm not one of them, let me just say that right now, but many of us are known, for being bountiful in that department. And a lot of people on social media, a lot of celebrities, whatever, like to do what is called blackfishing, right? And blackfishing is when you are basically white or you appear to be white, but in order for the cool factor, in order to get more views and likes and a higher profile on social media, you make yourself look racially ambiguous, or you make yourself look more Black, which includes having a bigger behind, having a bigger booty, right? And it's interesting that you mentioned the Trashians, right? Their whole aesthetic is interesting. How when one of the Trashians was married to who, that I don't even want to call that person's name, right? They were like, a lot of their stuff was like, like you said, the Coke bottle, the what looked to be what looked to be a BBL. I don't know, right? But it definitely looked that way. Now they're no longer in that relationship. Do you realize the whole aesthetic has changed?
Mm-hmm.
A lot, it deflated. A lot of the relationship deflated, and the body and all the stuff, the lips, everything, all of that deflated, right? And it is like everybody, as you would put it, everybody wants our rhythm, but they don't want our blues. So they want to quote unquote look black, right? They want the fuller lips, they want the BBL, right? They want that gadunk, right? But they don't want any of the other stuff that goes with it. And they're basically just biting our style, biting our look. And so I have many, many thoughts. That is where I will start. What are your initial thoughts?
I'm sick of it.
Okay, and that will be all, folks. We're done with the show.
Wait. Let me tell you why I'm sick of it.
Yeah, tell me.
And I'm not going to choose my words very carefully, and I may not have people talk to me after this. But here's the thing.
That's all right.
The most important thing for me are our children, our young girls, right? I have mentored and I'm still mentoring young girls, right? And when they talk to me, their innermost secrets, things that they don't want to tell their parents, which their parents have allowed for them to talk to me about.
Right.
These young girls are so into, I want to get a BBL. I'm like, but you are 15 years old. I want to get a BBL or I want to get a boob job. But mostly I've been hearing a lot of the BBL.
The BBL, yeah. That's the thing now.
I remember growing up, when I was growing up, it was rare that you saw women, people that were overweight. You saw more, it was like you saw more people who were within their body type and in good shape. Because again, remember we had PE in school and people were running outside and playing. So when you would see someone who was overweight or deemed overweight, it was like rare. Now the tides have turned, right? And with that, people are not eating right. They're doing all of that. But I'm not going to make this about eating right now. What I want to talk about is when you're getting a BBL, the message. So, because everyone is a role model, whether they believe it or not. When I hear crap about a celebrity, well, I'm not your child's role model. I'm not this role model. The fact that you're a celebrity, you're someone's role model, believe it or not. Because if you're going to take my money, if you're going to receive my clicks, views, likes, and comments when you're doing, look, don't get me started. When you're accepting that, you are a role model to some. And I may not like what you're doing, but you may have other people that go to the next level and their parents who are not watching what their children are watching because they're busy working or they're busy in the club, what have you. So these kids don't know who the right people to look up to. Some are looking up to King James. Some are looking up to Beyonce. Some are looking up to Lizzo. But the point is, when you go and get a BBL, it doesn't just affect you. It affects your community and it affects these kids that see it. And that's what I want women to understand. I'm not telling you whether you shouldn't or should, but what I am saying is you got to understand when you get this done, this cosmetic procedure, because it's the in thing now. It's not even the boobs that people care about anymore. It's the BBLs. I sent you an article where a woman went to another country to get a BBL and they ended up removing her kidney. Okay. So
yeah, what was that about?
Oh, well, we're gonna talk about
a whole scam.
We're gonna talk about organ removal on another show. Yeah. But because I have that on the list. But and again, we got to think about it. So here's my thing. I was blessed with boobs for days. I wasn't blessed with
give me some.
Yeah. I wasn't blessed with the derrière. I was always felt, because all my sisters have it, my nieces, I felt self-conscious about it, right? Because usually if you don't have any boobs, you can put a little padded bra on or whatever. And I wasn't going to get those butt pads or anything. And I remember when I was younger, if I would see a group of men sitting and talking and I'm coming into a room, I would come in backwards. Okay, because even though because I want them to see my boobs, because when I was younger, guys used to make fun of it. They used to call it pancake. They used to
wait. Yeah. How would you even enter a room backwards? Please explain.
That's what I would do, backwards. So you see my butt first, but then when you see the boobs, you would think it would be you would think, yeah. And then guys would say, "Oh, you have a white girl's butt." Okay, you have white girls, but I would hear that. I'm like, because of course, with some squats, I look a little better. But I wish that at one point I had a bigger derrière, a more curvier derrière, and I started to accept who I am and what I am. That, you know what, Jackie, I'm not going to go under the knife. I've worked for plastic surgeons. I've managed office where they would do anything that I wanted them to do. And the only thing I'd have to pay is the anesthesiologist, or in some cases, none, if I did a great job in the practice. But I just wasn't willing to go under the knife to get a reduction or doing it's to me, there was other things in the world. And again, for those who are watching who have had a BBL, I am not saying you're dumb, you're stupid, it's crazy that you're doing it, because people have to feel comfortable with themselves, Lisa. But at what price do we have to pay to be comfortable with ourselves? What price? Are we going to the
several $1,000s?
Are we going to the gym? Because people don't understand. I've seen people who've had BBLs who don't go to the gym, right? And I'm like, it's a quick fix. So someone said something to me the other day, and they said, what's going to happen 70 years from now when an archaeologist or someone, they dig up our bodies, or they look at in a time capsule, like the Trashians, and they see, oh my God, I mean, what are they going to be thinking? That we're so focused on what we look like than who we are on the inside,
Yes. It's hard not to be, though. It's hard not to be in this society that we live in, and it is harder. I think it's always been that way. Like it or not, looks are currency, right? we can pretend that that is not the case, but that is the case, right? Looks are currency. People who are deemed to be better looking, they often are paid more. They get, right? That's a whole nother show. That's all pretty privilege. That's what it's called, right? And so it is what it is. It's always been that way from the beginning of time. But I think first of all, with regular media like TV, all that stuff, that's when it started to become even more prevalent. When I say it became prevalent, I mean the pressure, right? The pressure to conform, the pressure to look like what you are seeing being beamed back to you through the screen. Now the screens are in our hands at all times, 24/7, right? And there's social media. We have dogs, for heaven's sake, dogs that are verified on Instagram, right? And little girls, dogs are, you see all these, some parents choose to put their kids on social media, who's not going to like a kid's photo, right? They put their kids on social media, the kids become famous, it becomes this whole thing. But then, you kind of start chasing that high, and it is the high of being seen and being liked and getting, like you said, those likes, clicks, shares, followers, all that stuff. It almost becomes an addiction. Now, if you see that, oh, well, if I go on social media, I post a picture of myself, like say how I'm dressed now, right? Basically, literally buttoned all the way up, right? And I'm not saying I'd probably do fine, but if you post a picture of yourself, like in a swimsuit or whatever, and it's like it or not, it's going to get more likes, positive or more attention, positive or negative, but it will definitely get more attention than this. And people realize that. Then they realize that, oh, well, if I'm not blessed in that area, they're looking at themselves, like you said, if I'm not blessed in that area, and then they look at all of the influencers who are blessed in that area, or who sometimes appear to be blessed. That's a whole nother thing, right? Appear to be blessed in that area. And they're like, oh, if I want this kind of so-called success, this is the look that I need to have. And I say so-called because, like I said, there's a lot of blackfishing that goes on.
Right.
There's a lot of blackfishing. There is Photoshop. The Photoshop stuff is because even, let's say, somebody with a BBL, right? Or even if their body is naturally that way, there are a lot of people that go in like, okay, if I just inch my waist in a little bit more, if I just expand my hips a little bit more, if I smooth everything out, right? And look, I'm a social media girl. I love a good filter. I'm not gonna lie. I love a filter. They're cute, right? Let's
but the filters are realistic though.
Yeah. Right.
Mhm.
But there is, which I think is one of the points we're making earlier. I guess there is a level of responsibility that some people don't even realize that they hold. Right? There is one influencer, white woman whose name I don't remember. I haven't been on Instagram in a good little while now. But what I appreciate about her is she does both versions. She will do the whole strip down, stomach in, booty out, all that stuff, Photoshop to the nines. And then the next swipe, she shows you the reality, right? The reality. The stomach is out to here. There's cellulite. If she just, all that sort of stuff. And basically one of her goals is to help show, look, none of this is real. Right. Even whether you have a BBL or not, none of it is real. But the whole BBL thing, I think it really is driven mainly by influencer culture,
yes,
celebrity culture, by video vixen culture, and not everybody, but a lot of people want to be famous. They want to be successful, and what is paraded as being successful is that, and having that kind of look, right? And it's seen as an avenue in. A lot of people, and I say, look, do what you can to make yourself happy, whether with your body, in life, whatever, in your career, whatever it is. But at the same time, if what is presented to you is that, especially if you are a young girl of any race, but especially a young Black girl, right? And you're like, oh, you're in school, and a lot of the teachers, a whole nother episode as well, but the teachers are not encouraging you, right? A lot of the teachers don't look like you, and they don't think that you're smart. They don't think that you have any intellectual potential and whatever. And so they don't feed into that way. And so therefore, there are a lot of young people coming up that are like, especially young girls who are like, oh, my only avenue to quote unquote make something of myself, right, is to do this. And in order to be successful at it, I need a BBL. I need to get fillers in my lips. I need to, like you said, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and they want to get a full body. And I'm like, listen, your 20-year-old body, for not for everyone, but for a lot of people, that's your zenith.
Yes.
That's the best your body is ever going to, right? Like, you don't even, just enjoy it. But everybody's different, right? And I understand what it's like to feel that pressure and cave to that pressure.
See, and my thing is, and I'm going to put her name out here because I really appreciate her. I mean, there's some things that she does, either something that she does that I don't agree with, but again, at the end of the day, overall, I really like her. Angela Simmons, I'm really loving her. And the reason why I'm saying I love her is she is exercising. She's showing you she uses a lot of filter, or in the past. So she put a photo up, and she, without any filter. And you finally get to see, oh my God, she has cellulite. Oh my God, she has this. Oh my God, look at her tummy, just like you were talking about the other young lady. And when I say that was one of the most beautiful pictures that I've ever seen of Angela, because it was so authentic.
Was it the one of her in that nice high cut swimsuit?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yes. And people were trying to make it like, oh my God, look at her cellulite. Oh my. So now she's being vulnerable by showing you, because basically what she's saying is, I'm not going to do a filter. You guys see that I exercise. I had a baby. I put on some weight. It's taking a while to come off. I got cellulite, probably, because she's always had thighs. So I probably had cellulite forever. But I'm showing you now, without filter, this is what my body looks like. It's not a flat stomach, but this is what my body looks like. And the majority of the people that were like, I don't want to say dogging her out, were negative, were women. Sure. Women, right? Not the guys, women.
But let me just tell you, here's the thing, right? And I don't know all the comments, but let me tell you where some of that came from. Some of that came from when, before she decided to start showing her body, she spent a lot of time dogging other women. A lot of time.
I didn't know that.
Yes. She spent a lot of time. You guys are not appropriate. You guys should be saving that for your husband. Blah, 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 blah. Why are you online in a swimsuit? Da, da, da. So now she becomes confident right? And she's out there with everything out of the world. I don't care one way or the other.
Right.
I think people were responding to the hypocrisy. It's like, oh, now you feel comfortable. Now it's okay. I think that's what people were.
No, I think it's no. What I'm talking about is, I think I remember that because this is where when she was on the series, and then people were like, "Oh my God, do you see what Angela's wearing?" This is now where people have accepted her wearing her swimsuit, right? Whether they accept it, but then she started taking off the filter.
So I understand what you're saying. I'm saying that some of the negative comments were probably from people who remembered her remembered those, because she used the stuff that she got. It's right. What you put out comes back. The stuff that she got is stuff that she had already put out into the universe. Right? So she had said all those same things. She used to make those generalizations about women and how they have no standards and how they're inappropriate and blah blah because they're out there on social media in a swimsuit. Now here she come out on social media in a swimsuit. Like I said, I don't care one way or the other.
Right. I hear what you're saying, and I'm glad you told me that. I'm glad you
that said, I one thing I do want to say is that I appreciate, because people also we have to give people grace to evolve.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We do have to give people grace to evolve. And I appreciate that wherever, okay, fine. This is where you are in your journey. And it's great that she has chosen to show her cellulite and show people, okay, this is the reality. But here, this thing is so nuanced and so layered, because she does not owe anybody to show them her cellulite. Now she's chosen to, right? Me personally, I don't know if that's something I'm ever going to do.
But let me tell you why I think she feels like, because I don't know if you remember at one point, her and her sister were they were doing something, I think, with the Girl Scouts of America, like they chose them to be role models, right? So again, she has a lot of followers, and she has a lot of young Black babies that are following her, and I call them babies because they under 30, so they're babies that are following
babies to us,
right? And because of every time you see something on social media, it's it's the filter, because one of the trashians, somehow someone got a hold of their phone and they showed you a picture that wasn't filtered, and you would not believe that was them. So what I do respect, whether the hypocrisy, but what I did respect was because Angela's whole thing right now is her body. That's what she's posing. She's showing her exercising. So for me, I see that portion, because she wants you to see what she's exercising, what she looks like, but she's trying to show you too, here's my cellulite. That's the part
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
And I wouldn't say I wouldn't do it, meaning because I'm going through a journey and I'm going to show, I think I may show something, not booty stuff or whatever, but like in a swimsuit and stuff like that. But I think it's also appropriate when you're on the beach to do a swimsuit. I'm not saying
it is. Look, I think I have a grand total of all my Instagram photos. I believe I have one where like you could see like all of me in a swimsuit, right? Other than that, I may have a couple and like a bikini, bikini. Actually no, maybe two of those. But then any other photo of me in a swimsuit, and I tend to wear rash guards, so that it still is like you're still up to here, long sleeves, whatever, right? My thing is that people are entitled to see what I want them to see.
Exactly.
Nobody gets to tell me, right? Nobody gets to tell me as a grown bleep woman,
right.
This is what you're supposed to show or not show on social media. No, I'm going to show what I want,
right?
Because I'm a grown woman, right? And nobody gets to tell me that. Nobody gets any input on that, because this is a committee of one, right? And so that's where I stand on that. Now, like I said, whether it is Angela or this other, I wish I could remember this other influencer's name. If that is part of their platform, showing the reality of what real bodies look like, that is great. That might not be my platform. Might be, here's something aspirational with a filter. That might be my platform. Right. Here, everybody's different. But the BBL thing, I saw a photo the other more than one of a woman, pretty small. I mean, you can't sometimes you can tell, but she looked like maybe she looked short and petite, right, from the waist up. And then there was like this wisdom tooth. You know what I mean.
Did she say wisdom tooth?
But you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was from the front. It wasn't even from the back. It was like, because she was like this. She was like, let's say, I don't know, 5'4", about 25, right? Small, little, cute little waist. She sure did say wisdom tooth, right? And then all of a sudden, like it just literally went like a wisdom tooth. And you could immediately see like this person was not born. It's not even in proportion. You know, a lot of people say like, okay, get what you want to get, but can you get it so that the thighs and the booty match?
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Because I've seen some that looks so obvious, because you can also tell by the legs. And you're like, when you're like, oh my, how are you standing? And I don't, you know, it's like they're choosing to take it to the next level. Again, I just want people. So when do we start accepting ourselves? Because now, for the women there's some women who are saving up their God almighty dollar just to get that done, hoping to get the right man who wants to pay for that, you know, or be in his presence, you know, because I just don't understand why we're doing it, because it's up there as one of the most dangerous surgeries out there, right?
Yeah.
So I don't understand why this day and age we feel that we need to do that. And again, the other talk may be, well, Jackie, who are you to tell me that I can't do it? You know what I'm saying? But when you're
not saying that anybody can't do it. You're just giving your opinion. Everybody can do whatever they want.
Because I'm like, and my concern again is the young girls who feel like they're not loved. They already have low self-esteem. And if this person does it, why don't I go ahead and do it? Because again, if you don't have a mom who's talking to you like, baby girl, you got to love yourself. You know, now they have padded underwears. Now they got padded pants. They got Lycra in almost every dag thing. So baby, look like I got a booty now. Okay. So if it don't have Lycra in it on the bottom half, I'm not
do you know the tights that give you that are like, girl, I will confess, I do have a few pairs of those, because they do, like, I don't know. To me, that's the best of both worlds, because it makes you look like you had surgery without having surgery.
Oh, hey, Gloria, how are you? Gloria said, like Whitney Houston said, learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. That is so true. And again, we're not saying whoever does it is wrong. But again, and I got to go back to my babies, because these kids, when they're calling me and they're talking to me and they're talking about BBLs, you are anywhere from 12 to 15. Get your schoolwork done. Okay, get your schoolwork done. Don't talk. And then you have
that's what I mean. That's why I said earlier that it also depends on their environment and what school they're in. Because let me tell you, a lot of them are in schools where the environments are hostile.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They are hostile. They're not supportive to, you know, especially young Black girls, right? And so they're like, okay, well, maybe I'm not smart. I mean, you know, you and I were lucky in that we grew up differently, right? I think for me, I had the opposite problem, which we've kind of like touched on when we did that light skin, dark skin whole thing. But, you know, as I said, I rep team medium brown, right? Mm-hmm. So not light skin. So it was like, I mean, I didn't feel I was ugly, but I didn't feel I was pretty either, because, you know, I wasn't light skin, and I have light eyes, and I have quote unquote good hair. And so my option was to be smart. That was it. Right. Other people, like nowadays, you know, especially over here in the States, it's very, very different. They're not being poured into. They're not encouraged. They're not, even if their parents see them as smart, they're spending all this time in school, and the teachers and educators are not encouraging them and not seeing light and potential in them. Then they're like, oh, well, yeah, let me stay on social media and go and get everything done and get a BBL and get famous, and then I won't need to bother with these teachers.
And it's like, there was this young girl, her name was Cash Me Out. I think that was Cash Me Out. It was a young Caucasian girl.
Cash Me Outside.
Was she the one who's on Dr. Phil? It was somebody, one of those girls, Dr. Phil,
cursing out her mother.
Yeah, cursing out her mother. And she decided, I think she was 14 at the time, cursed out her mother. Dr. Phil said something to her, and she says, I'm going to make you famous, Dr. Phil. And doggone it, that was one of the most highest rated shows. She also told Dr. Phil by the time she was 20, she was going to be a millionaire. Well, she was 19 and became a millionaire. Well, what she decided to do, she went on OnlyFans. I don't know how they did that. OnlyFans, and I think she wore a bikini or whatever. And it was the hot OnlyFans almost shut down because of her. Right? Meaning she got so many people, it almost crashed, in other words.
Right.
She went and got a BBL, and again, just watching her, she had a whole total makeover, but she also had a BBL. And she said now, because of that, she makes more money. She gets more money. She gives her mom an allowance, because I thought the breast surgery was something. Oh no, this BBL knocks breast surgery out of the park. And then you have a lot of celebrity guys who they only want women who've had BBL.
It's an aesthetic. It's an aesthetic. Yeah. And this is the irony of it. This is the irony of it that, I mean, I grew up again. I'm in that department. I neither.
Gloria, in the comments, what do you think about BBL in the comments, Gloria? Okay, go ahead, Lisa.
No problem. In that department, I'm neither, blessed or cursed, kind of like in the middle, right? But I can see where people feel pressured and obligated to go and get enhanced, because sex sells, and who wants to, if you're using the trashians, especially the main trashian, as a model, as a template, right? We ain't gonna get into it, but we all know what made her famous. And people, young. If I was a young, I'd be like, why? I don't even need to go to school. All I need to do is have the right look.
Yes, it's true.
That's all I need to do is have the right look. Period. And why wouldn't you do that? Because let me tell you, in not every way, but in many ways, it is easier. It is easier, and some of us have lived a hard life. And if I had to choose between a hard life and an easy life, I would choose an easy life.
You're keeping it real. You're keeping it real because But it's just that for me, going under the knife, I don't like pain. I
wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
I would, because I'm like, again, I've worked in a plastic surgeon's office. I have assisted in some things, liposuction stuff. I see what happens. And you could not pay me, and I'm going to say, you can pay me $1 million to do it. Because so bad enough, I don't want to have surgery, because I had a partial tear rotator cuff. They're like, do surgery. I said, no, I'm going to do the PPR. Why would I electively go under anesthesia? Okay, because there's so many things that could go wrong with anesthesia. So it's not just the surgery, it's anesthesia. Why would I want to elect to do that? And I think people need to think about that. Gloria said, I would never do that. I hope those that do, no medical issues. Amen, Miss Gloria.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't. But frankly, a lot of them do. Yeah. I mean, we're not talking about boobs now, but boobs are all part of the whole thing, like the implants and stuff. But a lot of people get what do you call it? Like lymph issues and
lymphatic issues.
Right. And then that carries throughout the whole body. They have chronic pain. All kinds of issues.
Michelle is a perfect example. K. Michelle. She's a singer, and she's gone through. She had BBLs, so many BBLs. Now it's gone into her. It went into her system. She's having lymphatic issues. She's having so she finally had to go in and remove it. So many women that you're hearing, because here's the thing: BBL hasn't been under the microscope for a certain amount of years to see what the side effects are, right? Because just like with your boob job, you have to get it done every 10 years. Then they were having leak because you had the silicone and the saline. So now people are doing saline as opposed to silicone. But now you don't know what the repercussions are. And I don't want to be responsible. Look, I barely want to be responsible for me. I'm not trying to be responsible for some booty when I'm 70 years old, okay? I got to make sure. So then you gotta keep going back.
That's the thing. No, okay. I'm glad you brought that up. So this is a slightly different story, but I'll share it to illustrate a point. So this is years ago now. You see me wearing sunglasses all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And you know that I have, among other things, I have photophobia, which is light sensitivity. I have uveitis as well. So I had eye surgery. There were reasons why I have it, why I had it at the time. And everybody, it wasn't LASIK, but very similar, right? And so what you hear about, what you see, what is out there sort of in the ether is that you go in, you come out, you have 20/20 vision, right? That is all you ever hear. No matter for the most part, unless you really know what you're doing or really think about you really sort of drill down into the full amount of research that you probably should do, you can't even find any of the anything that says opposite to what basically the medical community wants you to know, right? You have to like go into a subreddit, something like that. Anyway, have this surgery, and technically everything goes according to plan, and I do have great vision, but I also have these issues. Nowhere, and only afterwards do I hear things like, well, there's so many nerve endings in the eye, and it's one of the greatest concentrations of nerve endings in the entire body, so you tend to be more prone to pain. I'm like, well, where was this information? Where was this information? Where was this in the briefing? Where was this? You understand what I'm saying? And that is part of what happens, is that people see the effects, or there's only one narrative, that our primary narrative, that is out there, right? And it's even like pregnancy, right? A lot of women don't share.
Childbirth, true.
The reality of what happens, right? But being pregnant, or not just being pregnant, but obviously like delivering a child, right? Birthing a child can be fatal. Nobody tells you that. Nobody tells you that. You see what I'm saying? And so the BBL thing is like, I feel like if there's a narrative, and there's a look, people are only looking at, here's the result that I want.
Yes.
Right? Here's the result that I want. There isn't a lot of information out there, probably deliberately, that says, oh, well, if you do this, you might end up with, and don't come from anybody, but I'm just spitballing here, right? You might end up with lymphedema. You might end up with some kind of cancer. You might end up with all these other issues. You might end up with, right? Nobody tells you about these side effects. Nobody also tells you, which is what you said about, well, if you get it done at 20, you also have to get it done at 30, at 40, at 50, at 60, at 70, and keep on doing it, because it's not a one and done. They don't tell you that. You only find that out after.
It's true, but here's the thing, because they're making it sound sexy, because once you have it and it's fat, because before people were doing butt shots, and we had a lady that went to jail for God knows how long. She was doing it in Atlanta, doing it to the strippers, celebrities, because even Cardi B talks about she had butt shots, right? Then you had people who were Cardi B.
What was a butt? What are butt?
It was things that they were injecting, like in some cases,
like filler.
They were injecting cement in certain women. Okay, they would go to people's homes and they would have butt shots, and some of these were, cement. There's a lady, she got paid a lot of money. She was doing it. She went to jail. She's talking about it now. But those are the things. And you're right, because when you think about it, when you watch television and they talk about a drug, if you're not watching it carefully, now because they have to talk about the side effects are so long,
right?
Then the drug.
But listen to how they talk about it. Right. They talk about the ad, and it's all, and then like you can't even, all you hear, and also may cause death, right? Nobody's saying that about a BBL.
My husband is telling me, because in Georgia they were doing cement. My husband told me it's not cement; it was silicone. So he's writing.
I've heard about cement though.
Yeah,
but silicone.
Yes, he said silicone, but I know, because
I heard about spackle. I heard about that too. So it's just crazy.
So again, we got to start. We have to take accountability, because it may be good for you, but you got to think about the long-term after effects. Because I'm not trying to do, if I'm going to do the procedure, then what do I look like at 70 years old? Because you're going to gain weight. And when you gain weight, what happens is the fat is redeposited somewhere else when you gain weight. So some people that I know who've had it, they have like big dimples on their legs, their tummy.
Again, these are the things that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Nobody tells you, they just say, we're just going to take some fat out from here and redistribute it. And it sounds magical, right? And it sounds wonderful. And you also think, well, it's not like silicone, it's from my own body. what could possibly go wrong. Nobody tells you about the dimples. People are finding out about the dimples now.
Well, here's the thing, Lisa. When they sit down with you and you're doing your consultation, they'll tell you, but here's the problem. Lisa May went to that same doctor, and Lisa May looks beautiful. She was told the side effect, but she looks beautiful. Crashing was told the side effect. She looks beautiful. So you know what? I'm going to be the one that's looking beautiful too. So you ignore that because you see the results of other people, but you're not there to see the recovery is horrible. You hear me? The recovery, you can't sit down. You can't even. So how do you go to the bathroom?
I saw you pull that one back. I saw you pull it back. You're like, oh,
you know what I was going to say. Yes. Because Miss Glory is on it. So I can't say it like that. You go to the bathroom. How do you, again, I'm telling y'all, I don't like pain. I am not going to do something that's painful to make me look beautiful. Beauty is pain, and I get it. You know, like when you're doing waxing, that's not going to do anything to me other I feel a little pain right now. You're getting yourself waxed. You're doing, you're getting acupuncture. I get, it's just that for the life of me, y'all, I'm not trying to judge. And it may seem, again, it's my opinion. I just don't understand. I don't get it. And again, I have boobs for days, and I've been saying, you know what? I want to go and get a reduction because my insurance will pay for a reduction. The doctor wanted to do it. And then he's like, I don't want to do surgery on anybody here, blah, 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 blah. He just didn't want to do that. And he's like, Jackie, you're beautiful. My husband doesn't complain. I said, honey, you don't log this around. But when I'm at my goal weight or near my goal weight, it does go down. That's when I know that I'm getting chunky or heavy when my boobs are like this, right? But when I lose it as well. But we have to remember, whatever you're born with, we have to love. It's not like, oh my God, I'm pulling out my wisdom tooth or I need this procedure. I just, again, please help me, ladies, because I am not. Let
me tell you, because we have to really, really be honest, right? Even me, and I'll start with myself first. Even me saying just now that the thing looks like a wisdom tooth, right? Maybe that was not the kind. I mean, it does. But
it does. It
really does. It really doesn't look like a wisdom tooth. But the thing is, a lot of people, you mentioned earlier about Angela Simmons and how people made some uncomfortable and unkind comments, right? There's a lot of trolling. There's a lot of cruelty out there. And so again, like with everything, social media has made it a lot worse. And so you grow up, let's say you grow up as, and we've talked about this, right? You grow up as somebody who is dark skinned and everybody is like, oh, you so black, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you so dark, da, da, da. So we complain and criticize people's skin color. We complain about and criticize people's hair texture and on it goes. Oh, well, if they're not smart enough. If something wrong with one of the teeth, we tell them about it. If something wrong with one of the eyes, we tell them about it. If they a certain height, we think they should be taller, we tell them about it, right? And on it goes. And it's an ever continuing spiral of criticizing, each other, and that feeds into us criticizing ourselves and feeling like nothing about me is okay. Because if we're honest, people can be really, really cruel and make some cruel remarks. So, and even if nobody's saying it about you, like I said, like in my case, nobody ever called me ugly to my face, right? But I do know I did have the experience once of being in a pageant, right? And long story short, it's too much to go into right now, but at one point I was able to actually hear what I overheard without people realizing I could hear them, right? I overheard, long story short, and nobody expected me to win, right? Yeah. That was interesting. And so I've never forgotten that, because it's like, this is how people are. They will rip you to shreds. It's a miracle if any of us come out and go through the world with any shred of self-esteem. It is an absolute miracle, because people will do their darndest to rip you apart, rip you apart. And even if it's not happening to you, you might see somebody who looks similar to you or somebody who's a similar age to you, and you hear what people are saying about them. And then you're like, oh, well, if that person who looks very close, similar to me, if that's how they feel about them, maybe something is wrong with me since I look similar. You understand what I'm saying?
Girl, let me tell you something. I'm glad I was raised in I don't give less than two.
Blah, 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 blah. Bleep, bleep.
Toodles. I'm watching my language.
Two toodles.
Yeah, because I don't care what you think about me. Let me tell you what I've noticed about the new Jackie. The old Jackie, when I tell you I would chew you up and spit you out and chew you up again and spit you out because my mouth does not belong to me. But since I've become more spiritual, I let things roll off because, you know, what you say about my appearance or whatever, and I've never really had much of that. It doesn't affect me. And what it is the confidence just ooze out that, you know, because I'm very confident in what I look like and I know what I want to look like to look better, but I'm confident in my skin and who I am. I really would say that. And I have a love for people generally. But when I see you doing little comments and little microaggressions, you know, because I hear people like, oh, her butt. And I'm not talking about me. I've seen people do that in the presence of other people. You know, like,
that's what I mean.
Yeah, I've gone to other places and I've seen women say, oh my God, you know, that person, look at her butt is so small and blah, blah, blah. Or when she comes around them, they're like, oh, when you gonna get some butt work done? These little microaggression things, women need to stop doing it. And I had posted something and someone said something about white women. I ain't talking about white women because the skin that I live in, when people see it, it's blackness right now. So black women need to stop doing that. They need to stop the microaggressions, making slick comments under their mouths, because I'm telling you, this beast is about to come out because I'm sick of hearing it. And these shows that we're doing is showing my personality, where when I'm interviewing people, I'm asking questions and this is the Jackie, okay? Because
this is the real.
I don't have time for the shenanigans. This is part of the other Jackie. I don't have time for the shenanigans. We need to stop doing that. We need to stop. When you see a person that's genuine, just call it a day. And if you hating on that genuine person, because I'm talking about experience, and if you hating on that genuine person, that ain't my issue. That's your issue. You know what I'm saying? I have that personality people gonna love regardless. The one that don't love it, they hating. You're not really a hater. You're a silent fan. That's really who you are. Okay. So women need to stop doing that. We need to start talking. That's right, Miss Gloria. Microaggressions are the worst. And I'm telling you, I'm here to tell you, Lisa, I see it. And I'm a part of it where it's happening to me. But yeah, oh yes. I'm not going to get lit. I'm not going to get lit as I want to get lit, okay? Because I'm telling you, it has to stop, because I'm telling you, my mouth is not good, okay?
The thing is, and that's probably why you and I vibe, right? Because even though and in some ways, obviously, our personalities are different, clearly, right? But in a lot of ways, our personalities are very similar. I don't have time for the foolishness.
I will walk away.
Somebody, let me tell you, if you start an argument with me, you might start. I will finish it. I will finish it and you, right?
And I don't want to do that.
Start it.
I was told back in the day that when someone does something to me, I would break their spirit. And when they said that to me, that made me realize not to do that anymore. So what I've been doing lately is sucking things up. But I'm not sucking things up anymore, because I know relationships are about to change probably as of tomorrow.
But here's the thing, right? It's like when you know, white women's tears are a thing, right? That are weaponized. And so you know, I hear things like, you know, white women's tears. I hear things like unconscious bias. I hear things like microaggressions are real. I'm not saying that they are not. They are very, very real. I've written about them, actually, right? But unconscious bias is not a thing, because it is conscious, right? The little slick comments in microaggressions are conscious. these slick comments are conscious. Now I know they're conscious because when you turn around, and you see now I'm getting heated, right? But when you turn around, you get them a dose of their own medicine.
Girl, they can't take it. They can't take.
All of a sudden, here come the. Oh my goodness!
They giggle under it. I'm telling you, I am walking in a new spiritual realm. I met my Lord and Savior. I'm spiritual, but just because I'm spiritual, don't think I'm stupid, okay? Yeah, because I'm telling you, I've been swallowing a lot, okay? And
don't do
when
it.
I tell you it's about to come out, it's about to come out.
I can't wait to hear.
Because I'm not doing the foolishness. Because one thing I do, I love to bring laughter. I love to bring joy in any room that I'm in. And people see me like this, but they don't realize I'm a kind-hearted person, right? But the minute you do something, I will take me and my resources away. I have no problems walking away from money, walking away from people, walking away from groups. I don't deal with that because I don't deserve it. And my thing is, I'm not expecting everybody to take up for me. But one thing I don't like, when y'all see stuff, y'all don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? People be in a group and people need to shut people down. But see, if you don't shut them down and I do it, it's going to be tears. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I'm trying not to do it. Girl, when I tell you,
girl, it's so interesting. I remember once working with a bully. And the thing is, right, is well, more than once, but once years ago. And the thing is that I have a very gentle side of my personality. Very gentle and, cupcakes, butterflies, sweetness, and light. Yes, right?
Unicorn.
And thank you. And this is not such a good thing, but a lot of people like to take advantage of it, and I have to work on it. But I'm also a people pleaser. I'm a recovering people pleaser. Mm-hmm. So I really, I like to, try and help, yada, yada, yada. Right. But if you don't have strong boundaries, there are people who will see that and not take advantage. There are people who will see it and they will eviscerate you. Right. Anyway, so years ago, and again, this was younger Lisa. And so, when it was at work, professional environment, I was working with a bully. Like everybody in the office was scared of this person. You have to go ask him a question. Oh my gosh, am I going to get my head chewed off? It was this whole thing. And I don't even remember to this day what they did. Because I was like, this is BS. I was a little, and I would tiptoe too. One day they said this after like over a year of working with this person. And they said the wrong thing to me on the wrong day. And all the Scorpio came out. You hear what I'm telling you? Mm-hmm. By time done, they were crying. I'm like, wait, hold on.
You stung her. That's what you did.
By the time done, they're crying. I'm like, hold on. Why are you crying though? We've been running around here frightened, scared. I was going to say frightened for you. Scared of you. Let me speak properly, right? We were running around here scared of you for more than a year. You can't talk to the body properly. You barking at everybody. Have everybody walking on tiptoe. I tell you something, I give you a taste of your medicine once. And now all of a sudden you burst into tears. No. I say no. I'm not receiving those tears from you. You can go deal with them, but not in my office. So please.
And that's what the people like to do. Because for me, what I do is when I find myself knowing I'm gonna get to that level and I'm uncomfortable, I'll disappear. I'll do because one thing about me, I love being around a group, but baby, I love being by myself because I love me. So I can be, because I'm an introvert extrovert. So I can be with the group, laugh and joke. And then when I see things, I can step back and just let me do something on my own.
Yeah,
so I don't need to exist. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But I just want our sisters to really understand what they're doing, because the little slick comments ain't cute. Because now when people want to snap back, because I'm good at a clap back. I come from a family of 8, so I can clap. I know how to clap.
I'll give a whole round of applause.
Yo, my husband, I'm telling you, people be like, how he clap. He's great. He's the king of clapback. I'm the queen of clapback. Because you can't, so I'm good, okay? But I try not to because I'm walking in this. That's right, Miss Gloria, protect your peace.
Protect your peace, that's it.
Tell you something, Miss Gloria, when you said protect your peace, sometimes you got to take them out to the outhouse to protect your peace because you
gotta let people know. You gotta let people know.
Because sometimes you may have a bully and the bully may be all cutesy to everybody else, but they show the bullying side to you. And see, I'm like, you know what? I'm trying so hard because I'm telling you, I've been trying so hard and I feel it. I feel it within my spirit that it's going to, like I'm going to say
let them know.
Yo, it's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. And I know when it comes, the Dolly House are gonna mash up, and people are gonna say, "You can't come around." I don't give a damn. I'm
right?
It is
because people have choices in how to comport themselves and how to behave. They have a choice, and when they are making, trust and believe, you know this, when they are making those slick remarks, when they are being unkind, when they are dropping those sideways comments, they know exactly what they are doing. But and they are counting on, quote unquote, the group and group dynamics to protect them from any accountability. But trust, accountability is coming.
Let me tell you something. I can come in a group and I can tell who are the ones who are phony. I don't care if they're saved. I don't care if they're atheists. I can tell the phony ones. And the phony ones know that I can pick up that they're phony. And here's the issue, what most women will do that people need to understand. And it's not being... and I don't know if it's being raised by a man, but I'm going to say this. Miss Gloria said, others will say, but she's nice to me, but that there's so true.
No excuse.
But here's the issue, right? And I do attribute this to being raised by a man. As women, we don't like to call a spade because we think we're being conceited. And I'm going to say,
what do you mean? Tell me.
I'll tell you. Yeah. When a woman does that, we know she got self-esteem issues, but more than that, she's jealous. Women don't like to use the word that someone's jealous of them because they feel like, oh, someone's going to think I'm cocky. No. You got to call a spade because if they don't know you, it's jealousy, baby. And all you got to do is come over to me and I'll tell you what I do, how I do it, where I do it. Because I don't mind sharing my information. But if you don't, because I've seen it. I said, let me clock this for a couple of days. I've been clocking it. I clock it. Even from social media, I clock it. And I'm like,
what?
I'm like, you ain't slick. You ain't slick. I got your number. But everybody else don't see it, right? They don't see it because, like Ms. Gloria said, they may be nice to this one, that one. But or when they throw in shade, it's with the laugh. It's with the giggle. And
that's the worst kind.
I'm like, you messing with the wrong one. I said, I'm only doing this because I'm giving respect to other people. But baby, when I said my whole social media is changing, I'm coming out, I'm going to be venting on stuff. I'm going to be, because that's the real happy. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people, I'm not happy every day. I go through my moments when I'm uncomfortable or I want to speak my truth because I can't always be given, unicorn gumdrops and the friendly ghost. I got to show you the other side too because people think I don't go through some stuff and life is just handed to me. No, first of all, I'm God's property. You don't mess with God's property because when you do that, whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But and that's one of the things I post on social media, and I wanted to bring it on here because we got to be careful of the microaggressions. And sometimes when you don't stop them up front, it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, I've just been watching it and listening and coming home and telling my husband, and I'm like, he's like, nah, don't do this no more. Don't do that. Don't do this. And he's like, nah, don't do that. Don't hang around them because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I people have a choice. They have a choice to not act ignorant. Don't act ignorant.
Girl.
I always say, look, my thing is the Lisa that you get depends on what you give to me.
Listen, my thing is Dr. Frankenstein, meet your monster.
Right?
Okay. This is what you, and I keep telling people, I got the beast in me, but God is so good and so great to me that I don't need to bring it out. But sometimes, you got to do it. Miss Gloria says, yes, sometimes you can just walk in a room and some will dislike you even without knowing you. I'm not going to make your problem mine.
That's a damn problem.
Not going to make my problem yours. Because, and what I've noticed too, people is you may be the youngster or the person that everyone likes in the group. Then you come along. that person, and you come along and everyone's gravitating towards you and like you, and then I don't like,
well, you have that personality,
girl. Look, I'll tell people, if you don't like me, there's a problem. I want to be my best. There's a problem because I'm good, but now I'm careful on who I am putting my energy out towards. You know what I'm saying? So it's just amazing to me how, as women, as we are today, when we're working through men issues, we're working through, domestic violence, we're working through our counterparts, we're working for equal pay, that we got to still be petty. We still got to be petty because I'm like, oh, Jesus.
I'm over it, and I wish that there were certain battles that we did not have to fight. I wish there were certain battles that but here we are, and that is reality, right? Yes. And a lot of what we have talked about, and people might be like, oh, we veered, but we haven't really exactly. We haven't really veered, because to me, you know what? It all comes back to it's how are we speaking to each other and to ourselves, which is kind of basically what you were just saying. How are we speaking to each other? How are we speaking to ourselves? How are we treating each other? How are we treating ourselves? Because a lot of that affects how we feel about showing up in the world authentically as us, right? It affects how we walk into a room. It affects our level of self-confidence or lack thereof, right? And yes, it can ultimately affect, okay, are we going to make the choice to, and it could be anything. It's even, we're talking about BBLs, but there are levels before you even get to that.
Yes.
It is, by which I mean, how are you wearing your hair? Are you wearing makeup? Are you not wearing makeup? If you're wearing makeup, how much makeup are you wearing? How are you wearing your clothes? There's all kinds of stuff that is related to how we choose to show up in the world. And if we, I know that there are Black women in the world who will not go outside in public with their natural hair. Will not. You will never see it happen. Right? And so we're talking about BBLs, and that's a valid conversation, right? But let's talk about, and all of us do it.
Well, the thing is, but here's the thing about our show. We can talk, we have different segments. So we have, because we don't want to write down every segment we talk about.
No, of course.
I just want the audience to know, like, oh, wait a minute, how come I'm not hearing BBL? So we talk about BBLs and then we're done, and then we talk about other segment, but we make sure it comes in, because at the end of the day, I want everybody to be, because the problem is when you're not happy with yourself, you're giving off crazy energy to other people. So I need you to go and love yourself, look in the mirror, love yourself, just kiss yourself, do something. Miss Matthews said, someone said that a woman's beauty is her currency.
It's true.
In a world like this, I found that that's so profound. Shouldn't her integrity be her currency? Yes.
But okay. And Mrs. Matthews, for me, the answer is should. Yes. There are lots of shoulds. There are lots of shoulds in the world that should take place. There's the should and there's the reality, right? Integrity could be, or maybe it's a case of multiple things being currency, right? Maybe it's a case of, yes, integrity could be currency, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's everything right with that. The world we live in, however, social media and everything being so visual. Beauty is currency, and it's not even social media has made it more, has emphasized it more, but this is not a new thing. Beauty and looks and all of that, pretty privilege has always been a thing before we even had those words to describe it, right? And beauty has always been a currency. Beauty and handsomeness, looks of whatever kind, right? And we are being naive if we it just is what it is. It just is what it is.
But you know what?
Let's not act like that is not the reality, because it is. And absolutely should be, but this is where we are.
And you got to think about, even in Africa with the tribes, they have the tribes where stretching your neck, they put the rings around your neck. That was a form of beauty.
That was a form of beauty.
So beauty was always around. It's just that now it's just taking on another animal. And when I mean animal, it's just that people are just will do anything for beauty. And like a man, we were talking I think just earlier that everyone's talking about Lizzo. Now listen to me before y'all come at me. Let me finish. People will come at Lizzo for being overweight and being half naked. My concern and issue that I have some things to talk about. My issue that I really have about this is, why isn't anyone saying that DJ Khaled is overweight and he's been overweight for so long? Why isn't anyone saying about Rick Ross, who takes off his shirt and you see his tummy and all that kind of stuff, like he's I wanted to say something else, but you see. So I'm not understanding, how are we dogging out Lizzo? Again, I'm not saying I approve or disapprove. I'm just saying, can we be what's the word I'm looking for?
Be consistent and be consistent.
Yeah, across the board. Can we at least do that? You can't, and it's the women that are dogging out Lizzo, right? So you're dogging out Lizzo, but you're buying Rick Ross, and go ahead. You're going to say something.
This is the thing. But okay, so let us get back to what we were saying about what should and should not be currency, right? A large part of a big part of why people are going after Lizzo, we have to mention the misogynoir, right? We have to mention misogynoir. We have to mention that Lizzo being a woman of size and a black woman of size, a black woman, bigger black woman who is extremely successful and does not need anybody's approval, right? Because again, if you have a certain amount of fame and money, and it insulates you from certain things. I don't mean that Lizzo doesn't have feelings. Obviously she does. Obviously she does. That's not what I mean. I mean insulates in that she don't have to care. These people can make comments till the cows come home. She's still bringing in those checks. So it does not affect her. It doesn't affect her.
No, it does affect her. No, it does affect her, because when you watch her shows, when you watch her lives, anyone that makes any comment, she's like Cardi B. She reads her comments. Yeah. She's halfway crying, and I'm not saying she's wrong, and I'm not making fun of her. She's crying on social media about the nasty comments. So
okay, you're misunderstanding me, and that's my bad, because I phrased it poorly. When I say it does not affect her, yes, I have seen the videos that you're talking about where, yes, her feelings do get hurt, and they should, because people are saying horrible things and she's a human being. When I say it doesn't affect her, I mean it does not affect her income.
Oh, her bag. It doesn't affect her bag.
Doesn't affect the bag. That's I should have been more specific, right? So from that perspective, they can talk till the cows come home. She's still making her money. But yes, it does hurt her feelings. But people hate for a black woman to be successful. And because of a lot of Lizzo's intersectionality, she is black. She is what people might call overweight. And for the most part, she's extremely confident. People hate a confident black woman. Hate, right? She is darker skinned, right? Etc. Etc. Just keep adding on.
Wait. Do you really think she's confident if she's crying half the time when she sees? And I'm asking a question. I'm not judging. Do you think she's confident? Because
I do.
See, I don't find that confident.
Okay, hold on. No. You can be confident. Listen, I have times where I'm extremely confident, times where I'm not, times where somebody will say something, I'm like, okay, you're an idiot. I don't care what you say. Times where somebody will say something mean, and I will absolutely break down in tears. It all depends. But generally speaking, I think I'm confident.
Okay.
And so that's kind of like where I'm coming at it from.
Gotcha.
Right? You can be confident and still have your feelings hurt. Like nobody is just like one monotone emotion.
That's true.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Miss Matthews said there was a lady that subsequently post-op lost both her hands and legs due to the BBL surgery. She shared that on the Miss Tamara Hall show.
Yes, I saw that show. Yeah.
So I didn't see that. I would like, because there's so many botched surgeries. I watch those doctors who are I can't remember what channel it is, and they do fixing jobs. They do botched jobs. Yes. So I watch those surgeries. And also she said, we talked about K. Michelle. We talked about her. And who else she mentioned? Okay, she mentioned something about Joe Brown. Now, here's the thing. Many men, too, I guess, we were talking about, the comments. Joe Brown speaks recklessly about Lizzo at times. I'm trying to figure out if Joe Brown, yes, he's wording it maybe poorly, but I'm wondering if he's coming from it from an unhealthy. And not only that, young girls are seeing that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, right? Is that there are many ways. Okay, I'm trying to figure out the best. Just give me a second because I'm trying to figure out the best way to phrase this. But weight of whichever kind along the spectrum of weight, right? Weight does not necessarily correlate to health or lack thereof, right? So let me use myself.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Let me use myself as an example. And so I might not. Yeah, I have my little COVID fluff on. I will definitely admit that, right? But I don't think that I am, obese by any standard, right? But you and I know that. I mean, we have talked. I have health issues.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody's going to look at me, quote unquote, and say there goes an unhealthy person, right? I know people who are bigger in size than I am, who are way healthier, right?
Right.
So what I'm saying is there are some people who are bigger who have health issues. There are some people who are bigger who don't have health issues. But it's not, you can't look at somebody that is bigger and decide, there's another part of this, and decide because they are this size, they are therefore unhealthy. The flip side of it, no, hold on. You can get your chance. I know you have a lot of thoughts on that. The flip side of it is that I know that there are people that I know and know well who, shall we say, have the stereotypical or prototypical, model's physique.
And unhealthy.
So unhealthy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So unhealthy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not my business to share, but
right, and that's fine. But we got to remember this. There's difference from being overweight, being slightly overweight to obese. Okay, when you're obese, there's no way that you're healthy. Okay, let's put it there. Your heart has to pump faster. It has to pump more. There's a lot of things that has to be done. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference. Now, I'm not here to say I haven't heard her talk about her health issues because I have people in the vegan community that don't want Lizzo to talk about. I hear them, so I'm going to share the conversation. Mm-hmm. Don't want Lizzo to tell people that she's vegan because she's obese, and she shouldn't be talking about. The problem is, what I try to tell them is, but you got to remember, she is junk food vegan. She is processed vegan. It's not like she's creating a lot of stuff because then people are like, wait a minute, how are you vegan? Excuse me. And this is what Lizzo looks like. This is what they're telling me that they're hearing as well, right? But again, I just want people to understand, because I think someone said about, Miss Matthews said, and Lizzo plays the flute, great voice and serious musician. That should be the main focus. Well, if that's the case, and I hear you, why do you have to start wearing clothes like the Nicki Minaj, the Cardi B's? Why do you have to do it? Because if you're a serious musician, you don't have to wear those outlandish outfits.
But maybe she wants to.
But she didn't come out like that when she first started.
But listen.
And it could be a shock value. It could be.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Okay.
It could be a shock value.
If you go back and look at almost any female, okay. Let's just deal with women. Any female star, right? And there typically is an arc or a trajectory, and they come out and they start. Let's say they start pretty young and they're all girly and they're innocent and they're cute and they do all the bubblegum related kind of stuff, right? And then, if they're good and their audience is still with them, their label, or probably themselves, but usually their label is like, okay, how do we continue this? Part of continuing, basically appealing to the public, is you have to we want the voice the same, obviously, but the look has to be different, or something about the aesthetic has to be different. And so almost all of them, they start off a certain way, and then there's one album where they come out and every song, their whole everything is out, right? Every dance looks like it's on a stripper pole. Every song about sex, sex and having sex and all this sort of stuff, right? And it's like they're, they do their coming of age album. That's what it is. It creates shock value. They sell all their units, and then on they go, right? And it's a thing. And it is, if you go and you look at almost any young female artist coming up, that is the trajectory, especially nowadays. Mm-hmm. That is the trajectory. Mm-hmm.
I'm a music head. I'm a rap head. I'm a R&B head. It's not like that. Nicki Minaj, the way she looked now, that's how she was 15 years ago. Little Kim, 15 years ago. We can go Beyonce, when single, she was like that too. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying these were people who are consistent. What I think is happening in today's music is there are people who have great voices out there, and they're like, you know what? This is the handbook. This is the manual. Yeah. The person had a great voice, and this is the manual of what I need to look like in order to be just as successful. So my thing is, when are we going to stop having the copycat? So forget about Lizzo's outfit. My thing is, when are we going to have some originality? When are we going to have, that's what I want. I want to see originality. I'm tired of seeing the Tina Turner outfits where it's the bodysuit, the taupe tights, and I'm tired of seeing that.
It sells. And I think in some ways you and I actually saying,
you're right.
I think in many ways you and I actually saying the same thing.
Yes, you're right.
There is a handbook, there is a playbook, and it sells.
You're right.
Right? If you, I remember somebody posted the other day that I don't remember who the modern artist is, but basically what they were doing was, let's say they had taken all of Janet Jackson's old outfits from tours, whatever, and just like done a modern interpretation of them.
I think it was Sierra.
Was that who it was?
I think it was Sierra, because she loves Janet. I think it was
Sierra. Yeah. But it's like it is that's how it works. It works. And again, getting, why did remember Janet Jackson's album cover where it was just like the two hands on the boobs?
Her boyfriend. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the difference is, though, she did, because with her, and she tells the story, she lost all that weight. Because remember at one time when she was thicker, she was wearing black. Then the minute she came out with Pleasure Principle, you knew she lost some weight. And then when she did the video with Antonio, whatever his name is, then you're like, oh my God, Janet Jackson. But she was still, her clothing wise, because she let her talent speak for itself, she wasn't scantily clad when you would see her. She did the album cover because she was so shy and stuff. And people were telling her boyfriend's like, let's do this. Let's do a shock kind of a thing. And, so
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's they always, listen, you go back and you look, there's always a shock value, something or the other. Even like Christina Aguilera, she was like all bubble gum, and then one album, it was like, well, who is this person? Writhing on the floor. It's like, what is even happening? Right.
And that's why you hear a lot of older artists talk about, I don't want to be like who I love, Pink, because they're like, no, they want me to be like Beyonce, and I don't want to be Beyonce or Christina Aguilera or Britney. I want, because they were pitting her against Britney. I want to be me. I have a tomboyish body. I want to be me. So again, for those of you tuning in, we want to thank you. We were here talking about BBLs, and then we started morphing into microaggressions that other women give other women, right?
And we're going to deal with them.
Yes, because I'm experiencing that right now. So I needed Miss Lisa and Miss Gloria get some information on how to deal with it, because I am a new person, and I don't want to go back to that other person, because my mouth doesn't belong to me, and I'm very slick with the lip, and I'm trying to not hurt people's feelings when I'm talking to them about
their feelings, hurt them.
Yeah, right.
Hurt them.
Trying to be, because we got to stop the little slick comments and and people think when you giggle when you say something that's cute, when it's really microaggression. But other people, oh, that's cute, that's not a problem. Gloria said, be yourself. Miss Gloria, I don't know if you want me to be myself. I am myself, but there's that other part that I keep locked in that closet. Okay,
let it out.
Yeah, let it out.
I'm here instigating. Let it out.
You're my hype girl.
Right?
So again, we were talking about BBL, and the whole to wrap this all up, Lisa's going to give she's dropping her jewels at the end of it, is we want people to be happy with themselves because, Miss Matthews talked about, I remember watching the episode with Ali McGraw when she was on Oprah talking about getting older. And I don't know if you guys noticed, have you noticed when you have a celebrity, when they get to a certain age, they just disappear? Especially the older ones, the ones like the ones who are probably around 70s now, or have passed, like they disappear. They don't want you to see them how they are when they get old. They want you to remember them in their yesteryear, almost like Sunset Boulevard with Gloria Swanson. They want to, I'm going, back in the day.
Right. You're going back.
Yeah, so they want you, but we have to make it acceptable. Every wrinkle that you have, you earned it. Every cellulite you have, you earned it either by eating chips, or hereditary. You've earned it. The most important thing is you're alive. That's what I want people to know. You're alive. Just go ahead. Miss Matthews said GMO, but just go ahead and live your best life. Most men will tell you, it's almost like when you're about to put on sexy clothes for your man, they don't care about the sexy clothes. They don't care about that. They just want it off. They'll rip it off. They don't care about that. So I'm saying, and I'm hearing guys are saying now, they don't care about the cellulite. They don't care about you have a little gut or whatever. That shows you a grown woman. Now, if you don't have it, that doesn't mean you're not grown, but that's showing that you have life. So if you have 2 or 3 gut bellies or whatever, if you don't want to lose it, embrace it. Either by eating right or exercising, embrace the skin that you're in. That's what I want y'all to do. Just embrace it. Miss Matthews said, no shade. I meant no harm. Girl, no. Miss Matthews, you are not doing that. Gloria said, stop complaining about having bat wings. Be glad thank you. Be glad that you have them because you're alive. You can fix it. Either you go to the gym and fix it, or you eat right and fix it. Everything that you have, because I hear people say, not everything can be fixed in the gym. Well, it's the food you eat. Okay, it's the food you eat.
A lot can be fixed in the gym, though.
A lot can be fixed in the gym. So for me, not walking alone is not enough, because I used to be called horse legs back in the day, and I want to continue building up my. Oh yeah, but these stallion legs. That's a compliment, honey. That's a compliment. You ever seen some stallion legs? That's a compliment.
Stallion legs are sexy, right?
Stallion legs.
That's what I said.
Yes, those are muscle legs. Oh, yes. Look at a stallion and look at their legs. Yes. So I want to go back and, do my stuff and, work on a couple of things. So that's what I'm doing for me. And again, I had the opportunity of having free surgery because I managed practice offices. I worked with them and they were going to do it for free, and I'm embracing my boobs, because that's one thing, because I'll wear clothes that are bigger. And I shared this story today with Julie. I told her, one of the ladies that walk in the park, she saw me at one of the stores. And I was dressed and she's like, oh my God, how much weight did you lose? She's like, oh my God. She's like, in the pictures, you look thick. And I'm like, I'm just wearing my good bra. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, no, this is what I look like. She's like, oh, she's like, you're not, she came over to me and she's like, you're not wearing like a cincher or a waist. I said, no. I said, in the morning, I ain't got time to be doing all that foolishness. And it's for me, I don't have time to do all of that.
Right.
I just want to go walk, and I'm not trying to put on mascara I'm not doing that. I just want to
go walking.
Sometimes I don't even, girl, sometimes I roll out of bed. Miss Gloria will tell you, sometimes I don't be matching. I be looking like I rolled out of bed. And so for me, when people see me, they're like, wait a minute, that was you in that picture? Wait, that was you right there? And I would wear a scarf. I'm like, it is what it is. So I don't be doing all that. Miss Matthews said, a friend said something to me that was so profound yesterday on this topic. She pointed out how some naturally pretty women with natural hourglass figures are perplexed by all the surgery, citing that they still get cheated on, left, abused. Hey, baby, despite their beauty. In short, getting surgery to look like them won't guarantee he'll treat you right. That is so true. She's paraphrasing, because look at one of the Kardashians. She's gone so many surgeries and her boyfriend's cheating all over the place. So you can't get fit because of a man. You can't get fit for another woman. You have to just love your body. Because I think once you start doing it and the youngins start seeing that, they'll start loving their bodies. Because I'm telling y'all, these young kids are coming up to me because I'm mentoring them and they're asking me and talking to me about, should they talk to their mother about BBLs? anywhere. Come on, man. I can't have these kids who are under 21 coming to me talking to me about BBLs. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, that seems a little young.
that's too young. Okay, so we're winding up the show. What's your jewel you're gonna drop? What gems you want to drop?
I don't know if I have any more. I dropped a lot of gems throughout the show. I don't know if I have any more gems. I don't know if I have any more gems, but I will say that obviously everybody should have autonomy and agency over their own body, right?
Correct.
This show is, and you said this many times, it's not a thing, it's not about judgment. It's just, okay, here are a couple of things to consider. Here are a couple of options. And I think for me, one of the big takeaways is be kind to yourself and speak kindly to yourself. You know, get in the habit of looking at yourself lovingly in the mirror, like mirror work. You and I are going to get to this later on when we get into all of the crystals and all. Right. Exactly. Right. And tell her, be like, you're gorgeous. Right. But speak lovingly to yourself.
Yes.
And treat yourself kindly. Right. And treat others kindly. Now, that does not mean that you're not going to feel the pressure. And it doesn't mean that you're not supposed to get a BBL. Right. I will say, if you're going to get one, do your research.
Yes.
When you're finished doing your research, do some more research. Getting a BBL or any kind of surgery, you know, I see sometimes people talk about, oh, well, you know, I can go to XYZ place and get it done for $500. Really, is you don't want to coupon your surgery, right? You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna, go to the supermarket and get two for the price of one. And so do your research. I'm not saying you necessarily have to pay the highest fee, but so shop around. But at the same time, sometimes if the price sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. You definitely don't want to end up like some of these people who have lost limbs and gotten illnesses and whatever as a result. So again, the key for me is self-love. And that could be its own that can be its own episode sometime. But yeah, love it.
Amen. We want to make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share. Tell a friend. If you want to join our tribe, you must subscribe. Lisa and our shows on Wednesdays, and we're gonna see if we're gonna do a show next Wednesday because we have some dates that we need to take off because I've been grabbing her from all over the place. So we're gonna, but it's gonna be a show that we're gonna be doing every Wednesday in November. You'll see it because if you subscribe, you'll see when our shows are coming up. Please send us. My email is womenareworthy@gmail.com. Let me put it in here in the chat. So if you have anything you want us to talk about, we're also going to be getting guests to come on the show as well, like we did with the polygamy versus monogamy. We had a wonderful guest
who
was in a polygamous relationship, and she talked about it. She was an African-American woman who was in a polygamous relationship, and she talked about it. And it wasn't just for sex. It wasn't a sex thing, and her and the husband was legally married, and they brought a third person in. So I just want people to understand, Lisa and I may think we know of topics we need to talk about, but throw it out there what you would like us to talk about. It. Put it in the comments. Let us know, because we're here to talk about any and everything, because we're here to save our community. We're here to save ourselves. I can't wait for someone else to save us. We got to save ourselves. We have to create this dialogue amongst each other. So it's not just Lisa and I talking. We want to hear what you have to say. Like Gloria said, she tries to encourage her sisters not to be too critical of themselves. They have enough of everything. That is so true, because we're already getting the backlash from other people, from other race, from other ethnicities. We don't need to do it to each other, and most importantly to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So and what is the saying? What is the adage? If you don't have anything good to say, shut your damn mouth. How about that one? So
and with that,
look.
I feel like you were talking to somebody specific, but
when they watch it, they'll see. They'll
right?
see
I know.
We're gonna talk. But anyway, so again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Gloria is just so phenomenal. She's always supported me. I mean, she works hard. She does so much. This woman does. I got to give her props. Miss Matthews, got to give props. And all those who are watching in the after show. I mean, it's just phenomenal how we have supporters when we don't get a lot on the show, but the replays we get 1,000 plus when we do the show. So we want to thank everyone because you could be anywhere else in the world. Today is Wednesday and it's Wind Down Wednesday, but it's also Worthy Woman Wednesday. So I want to thank you guys thank you for continuing to tune in because we have this. No one has time to do anything. So we want to thank you for tuning in. Please share because in order to keep this up, please share. Just grab the link, share it with a friend, have them share it with a friend. We're going to be doing giveaways because it's about time we got to start doing giveaways. We have some phenomenal stuff to give away. So, we're going to be doing that. So we want to value you to show you, hey, you're not just watching. We want to share whatever we have with you. So Miss Matthews, phenomenal. Gloria, I'm forever loving you. I don't care what you do to me. I'm going to always love you because you got a lifetime pass with me, Miss Gloria. Miss Matthews, you got the next century pass with me. Okay. So and for those of you that I can't see that's watching, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. And I want to thank my co-hosts for just coming on this amazing journey with me. We're going to be doing so many phenomenal things, y'all. We can't talk about it right now, but I want to thank you, Lisa, because you're like doing 95 million things and you decided to come on this journey with me. I'm going to make it worth your while. I'm also going to promise to be authentic and not to misuse your time. That's what I promise to do, and to be a good friend to you and a good sister. Other than that, y'all, I done said enough. Bye. I'm dry.
Love you. Bye.
Love you.